Hello, everyone. Welcome to the JLR Podcast Network, and it's time for another episode of Broken Sword, the Shadow of the Templars walkthrough and review. This is the 5th episode so far, so that's quite the number of episodes I've done in not that much time, I suppose. Anyways, for those who have not been paying attention, there's a time for a quick review. So this game is about a young American, George Stobart, who is traveling in Paris during the fall, near the millennium. He was caught in an explosion, a terrorist act by a clown who exploded this bar with his accordion, and before that stole a briefcase from a guy named Plantard. George was like pissed off. Hey, that damn clown almost killed me. Teamed up with the very sexy French free photojournalist Nico Collard, and they team up and they try to find evidence about this clown, this killer, and they find out his name is Khan. Found out where he was staying at, which hotel he was staying at, and George went to that hotel, and George Stobart found a manuscript there, went back to Nico and showed Nico the manuscript, and then they were looking at it like, oh, this is about the Knights Templars. It's a medieval manuscript. They didn't understand what it's all about, so Nico suggested to George, like, go to the museum, Kron Museum, to find my friend Labino. He still hasn't showed up, but I'm already shivering. Once he was at that museum where Labino is at, Labino wasn't there, but at that museum he saw a tripod which was identical to a tripod in the manuscript, and it was located in Ireland. And George was like, Ireland, I have to go there. And then before we went to Nico and told her about that discovery in Ireland, and then she showed us a news article about a Professor Peagram who who had been working at this excavation, the dig in Lochmarne in West Ireland, where he not only found the tripod but also found a gem, and that he had So basically, George was like, "Okay, I'm going to Ireland to look for this Professor Peagram and see what we can find out about him." So in Ireland, went to Lochmarne, a very small village. Outside the pub, there's this kid. He asked him, like, do you know Professor Peagram? And he was like, yeah, he was there with the dig, but he's gone. And, there were a bunch of students with him. And then one local, Sean Fitzgerald. Oh, okay. He's wearing glasses. Okay, we went inside this bar, and it's like, hey, there's a guy wearing glasses. It was Sean Fitzgerald. We talked to Sean Fitzgerald. He denied it. I was like, okay. And then we talked to the bartender and some of the other customers there, the attendants. And one of them, Doyle, he after we kind of bribed him with beer, he decided to tell us, that he remembered last week seeing John Fitzgerald, the guy with the glasses, working with Peagram and talking to Peagram. And we went back to Sean Fitzgerald. Hey, yo, man, this is the second guy telling us that you work with Peagram and you actually talk with him. Peagram. Still, Sean was like, no, not me, nada. But he was a nervous Nelly, right? I think it's nervous Nelly. I didn't check on that, but never mind. And what happens then? Well, we went outside and, get a confirmation from Liam. And Liam then says, well, it was only last night. He talked to him and got a package from Professor Peagram, and Sean didn't seem to like that, and was like, hold on, wait, last night got a package? We go back inside, he had a package, and when we were talking to him, he kind of he seemed stressed out. He was like holding his hand over the package, and now we're like, okay, the kid saw you talking to Professor Peagram yesterday. He told us you got that package from him. I don't know why I'm waving this pen for the... Oh yeah, this is obviously not only a video on YouTube, but also an audio podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Soundcloud, whatever. And for some reason, I have this pen color marker here in my hand, and for some reason I'm waving it like angrily while I'm making my points. But yeah, what happens is that we confront Sean like, all right, cut the crap, we know you definitely talked to Peagram, and then he confesses finally, I got caught, I knew it was gonna happen. And we were like, okay, Peagram gave you the package, you don't know where Peagram went, and he swears he doesn't know what happened to Peagram. He basically went off and hasn't returned, and the bar, the landlord is really upset. He didn't pay up his bills and stuff like that. But we just told him, you might be in real danger. Did he give you the gem? Is the gem in the package? Like we've kind of put those two things together. That package must have probably have the gem in it. And then just Sean had enough, like, I wish I never heard of the Lochmarne gem. He didn't say heard. Hoard. And then he just left the bar. And we're inside the bar. As he left, we just hear this car hitting something and then driving off. And although the sound effects were a little bit low, so I kind of made sure they're a little bit louder now this time around. But Liam runs in and is like, "Hey, Sean Fitzgerald was hit by this big red sports car," but the landlord won't hear it. "Liam, get out! You're not 20 yet," or something like that. And then they were like, "Who's gonna go check out?" "Not me." "Send medicinal brandy, yes." And then all of them said, "Not me." "Me neither." So nobody cared. So only we went outside to check on Liam, what happened. And Liam tells us his story, and we got a cutscene and everything about it. Then he was just minding his own business. And then he saw a beautiful big red sports car, maybe a Ferrari, maybe a Lamborghini, who knows. And would you look at that? You never see something like that in Lochmarne, in this small village in Ireland. And then Sean Fitzgerald is pissed off, goes out of the bar, just like he waltzes over the street, and at that moment, BAM! Gets hit by that red sports car. And then he was almost, if he was bloody nose and everything, and almost out of it, and probably broken bones and whatever. And then Liam goes to check on him, and then the driver steps out, and Liam couldn't believe his eyes. It was a guy dressed up as a pixie. Oh, see the connecting dots? The man who bought Bozo the Clown in Blue, the cafe, also bought another costume in Paris of Seamus the Pixie. We know it has to be Khan. Khan is in Ireland there, and he probably kidnapped. He did kidnap Sean Fitzgerald and drove off with him. We have no idea if he dropped the package or not, and we went back inside the bar. Nobody seems to care, and we're like, "Oh, screw it, then let's have a beer." But the pump is broken, and we need he said we need an electrician to fix it. We'll show the card. Thomas Müller. No, I messed it up. Thomas Merlin. You know Thomas Muller. Okay, so most people maybe know Thomas Muller, the soccer player, but there may be another Muller I'm mixing up with. But god damn it, his name is Merlin, not Muller. I cannot stop saying Thomas Muller. He's not the former striker of Bayern Munich. Is he still playing with Bayern Munich? It doesn't matter. Anyways, his name is Merlin, but we showed that ID card. We're pretending now to be an electrician, but he still doesn't want us to work with the pipes. So he said to try to fix the glass washer first, and. Once again, I'm trying these really bad accents, and this time it's the Irish accent. It's done Jesse Ventura and the mob accent. Just stop it, Johan. Stop it. Let's just get on with it. Restore JLR Podcast Network. It's time to go back to the where we were. Okay, so we think there's something wrong with the wiring. Hold on. What's that in? If you look to the right, well, obviously the audience cannot, the listening audience cannot see that, but the guy that in the corner won't stop sneezing. All of a sudden, as I said wiring, he pulled out something that looks like the wire. Let's go up to him here. Sorry. Look, that's a wire, right? Let's look at it.
It was a short piece of wire, twisted into a rough circle.
How come you have a wire all of a sudden? Let's talk to him again.
Hello again.
Hello again.
What?
Very charming voice. So let's ask about this blue wire that he all of a sudden is handling.
What's that you're making?
It's a necklace, mi poco.
Oh, sure. Made out of steel wire?
That's right. A necklace for my pretty one. When my little lover feels it round her slender neck, she'll be mine, all mine.
What is he, a psychopathic killer?
If I was a woman, I wouldn't think much of a wire necklace.
It's not made for a woman. I've got my sights on tastier dishes than women. Flesh as smooth and tender as a maiden's. bones as soft and white as a newborn babe's. Rabbit, lads. That's what gets my juices flowing.
He loves rabbits. And then he sneezes. That's why he has the wire. Shall we ask about the wire again?
Ah, so you're making snares to trap rabbits.
He basically said
That's
that.
right. Do you have a problem with that?
Damn right I do. Isn't it painful?
Only if I get me fingers caught.
I'm talking about the rabbits. Do they feel much pain?
You bet.
PETA is all over his ass. Alright, so... let's
see you later.
About... Okay, let's see if we can grab that wire. So, he's not handling the wire now. But let's see. He takes a sip of his drink. I'm just waiting here for the wire to show up. Sounds like I'm talking about the TV show, The Wire. Waiting for that to show up. A good show, right? Oh, he picks up the wire. Can we immediately just pick it up? Yes! Let's try it! Whoa!
As soon as the old guy looked away, I grabbed his piece of wire.
See? He won't stop sneezing, so we just took the wire away from him as soon as he started on his rampage sneezing. Rampage sneezing? Never mind. Let's see what the...
It was a short piece of wire, twisted into a rough circle.
This is what George has to say about the wire. So, can we use the wire with the glass washer in any way to fix the wiring? No. He just lifts off his shoulders, has no idea. What about the socket here? Let's see. Oh. There we go. He's putting the wires.
I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire.
Okay.
I knew it was dangerous, but I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew about standard safety precautions.
So he adds the wire.
Excuse me, Mr. Leary.
Okay.
I fixed your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing to all the saints. A free half-pint to that man, on the house.
Nice.
Now, could you take a look at the beer pumps?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on me hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's right. You'll find a flashlight down there somewhere.
So he's saying we can go down the cellar if we want to fix the pumps, but you know, obviously, and then he's offering a free pump, but the pump is broken, so we're not gonna get it until the job is done, obviously. But now we can actually go downstairs to the cellar.
What a dumb place to store a flashlight. A dark cellar. The only way I was going to find anything down there was to feel around.
Okay. We are not able to see anything. It's a very dark cellar, and we're not going to see... But we saw a rat, a big rat. That was pretty disgusting, but there's nothing else we're able to see here, except this one handle here.
My hand closed on a long metal rod.
Okay. So what happens if we pull this rod here?
I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen.
Maybe nothing appeared to happen there, but maybe something might have happened elsewhere. You can only wonder where this faint of light is coming from outside. Well, maybe there's something outside that would lead inside the cellar, right? Let's go find out. So yeah. I don't even know how the hell, like, so he said replace the fuse with the wires. Is that really gonna work like that? I'm obviously not an electrician, I have no idea. Let's just go outside. Seems like a really stupid, dangerous thing to do. Especially if you're not, trained in it, like George did. But he was desperate. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, look over here.
It was a trap door in the sidewalk.
This is a trap door we tried to open at the beginning, at the start of the, the first time we were in Ireland. One of the first things we tried to do was to open the trap door. Let's see if we can do it now. Hey, look at that! Could easily.
I lifted the trap door, and an overpowering smell of stale beer rose from the cellar below.
That's
I
right.
looked down on a stone-tiled floor. Way too far to jump.
We're not gonna jump. We'll just go back inside the bar then. Oh my God! It's Khan. Khan just walked up to George, tapping his shoulder.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
I didn't see anything.
What about the boy?
He doesn't know anything either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough genes to go around. I prayed McGuire had the sense to keep his mouth shut.
McGuire, no. Oh,
Was the guy hurt bad?
He's been taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
And there he goes. We just had our first interaction with Khan, the killer clown. Phew. Shall we talk to Liam? He just left Khan, by the way. We cannot follow him or anything like. We cannot actually exit the screen. Let's talk to Khan. Not Khan. Let's go talk to Liam.
Hey, McGuire.
What do you want to know?
Shall we show him the picture of Khan? Now you saw the guy.
Have you ever seen this man before?
What a slime.
What? It's the same as before.
See you later, kid.
Nothing changed.
Okay,
Never
mister.
mind. All right. So we're not going to jump out. Let's just go back down the cellar then. But did you hear that? So Sean dropped the package. Maybe. Could it be he dropped it from the trap door? By the way, it's so obvious that Khan just beat him up senseless after driving, where's the gem? Where's the gem? And then he said, I dropped the gem. Is that an Irish accent again? Johan, stop trying. And now we can see something here. Hang on. What's that shiny thing right under the trapdoor? Okay, George just found the flashlight.
Then I noticed a flash of light. Something sparkling beneath the open trapdoor.
I just said that. What could it be? What's that sparkling thing?
It was Peagram's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone. As I held it aloft, I realized the fascination it could command. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
It's Liam.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
I could, for sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari.
It was a Ferrari, I see. Okay, not a Lamborghini. So, well, first he just said a big red sports car, so I have no idea if it's either one. But, okay. So, right. We have the gem. Let's look at the gem.
It was a large blue gemstone.
Right. It's funny how, yeah, Liam wanted us to, there's a lot of beer cans here. What is it called? Yeah. He wanted us to chuck one of those barrels back up, the beer barrel, but George, obviously, the responsible adult. No, you're way too young for that. So what else is down here? Let's see.
It was a calendar with a faded photograph of a prize-winning carp.
Prize-winning carp? What kind of a calendar is that? Nothing we can do about it. There's the, let's see what's over there.
It was a rusty faucet.
A rusty faucet? Can we use the faucet?
The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water.
Rusty-colored water, eh? Is there something we can use the water with? Oh, what about the towel, for example? Who knows if we need the wet towel for something, eh? Let's see. Yep. I know this seems very random.
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
I think a wet towel is better than a dry towel. Obviously, I think the wet towel will work better for us later on.
The towel was already as wet as it was going to get.
All right. Let's check the towel.
The towel was soaked through with water.
Soak through the water. Let's turn off the faucet just to be...
I shut off the faucet as tight as I could, but it kept on dripping.
Kept on dripping. So it will always drip. Even if we try to shut it off as much as possible. Okay, so... Let's just think here for a moment. We have the gem. We don't know where Peagram is. We can only think he's in big trouble. One would only think like, okay, so how did Khan know about Sean Fitzgerald? He must have gotten that information from Peagram, right? Which means I think Peagram's dead by Khan's hands, and now Sean is probably dead as well. He probably got Peagram. He's in Ireland. He probably got Peagram somewhere on the way, and then where's the gem? I give it to a man named Sean Fitzgerald, and then then he drives over Sean Fitzgerald, and then asks him, "Where's the gem?" "I lost the packet," and then goes to look for the packets, can't find it, but meets George and talks to him for the first time. Let's go outside. There's one other thing that Sean talked to us about. So apart from the gem, he found some room inside the castle. So I think it's time. Let's go to the castle. We haven't even gone to the castle at this point. We've just done all our business at the bar, which means that now it's time for the castle. Okay, so what do we have here? Here's a huge haystack, right?
On the back of the cart was a crazily stacked tower of hay bales, leaning precariously against the castle wall.
Interesting. And there's this guy here sitting by the haystack.
The farmer's craggy face was set in a mask of aesthetic appreciation. His feet were set in a pair of manure-caked boots.
Interesting. He's reading a book by just minding his own business, I suppose. We'll go up to the castle doors. Let's see them. They're huge, obviously.
The gates were made of solid, age-blackened wood.
Yeah, you wouldn't call them doors, obviously. Gate. Let's see. Can we open it?
Pushing with all my strength got me nowhere. They didn't budge. I really need to start working out.
That's not really gonna... It's pretty tightly locked, so... But huge haystack against the wall, that seems like pretty convenient. Maybe we could climb this haystack. But if we try, this guy might complain about that, right?
Get away, you silly noodle! Can't you see the load's unstable?
Yeah, he let us have it. Silly noodle. All right, let's at least try to talk to this guy. Like,
hi,
can we
it's
use
me
the
again.
haystack?
So I see. What now?
So I see. What now? We haven't really talked to him, but I guess he reacted this way because we tried to use the haystack. All right, so let's see. Let's ask about we have several options here. We can ask about Professor Peagram, the Ferrari, and we can ask about the castle and the book. So let's ask about the castle.
What can you tell me about the castle?
Not much, I'm sorry to say. Most of its history is long forgotten. Ah, but if these old stones could only speak, what stories they'd tell. Stories to make your toes curl and your blood run cold. You know, this castle is said to be over 600 years old.
600 years old? That's pretty old. Let's ask about the castle again.
Who built the castle?
Mad Phelan, the first lord of Lochmarne. Well, I say lord, but actually he was little more than a village chieftain. He built his castle from the remains of the Templar preceptory.
Interesting. So he built it from remains of what the Templars had already established there before. Let's ask about the Templars then.
Where was the site of the Templar preceptory?
Right here on Temple Hill. Phelan built right on top of the old wall. It's said that deep beneath these walls there's a Templar chapel.
That is what Peagram found. It must be. Let's ask more about it.
Did Peagram discover the chapel?
I don't know. His workers were sworn to secrecy.
But they were sworn to secrecy, but at least we got a little bit out of Sean. We got a little information from Sean telling us about this secret room, so we need to get in there. More about the castle.
Do you mind if I climb up your haystack to get into the castle?
What? you'd break your stupid neck for sure. Do you think I'd stand by and see your brains dashed out?
I'd be very careful, and I promise not to sue.
You won't get the chance, not while I'm here to stop you.
Okay. He promised not to sue. That's a very nice gesture of a lawyer. But a verbal agreement, would that work in court? Who knows? All right, so let's ask about Peagram.
Have you seen Professor Peagram?
No, he's packed up and gone.
Do you happen to know where?
Back in England, I suppose.
Let's ask more about Peagram.
Do you think Peagram's disappearance is due to the curse?
Look at the facts. He dug up the gem. He disappeared. Bingo. It doesn't take a degree in mathematics to work that one out, does it? You don't have to be a smarty Pythagoras with a calculator.
I guess not.
Peagram has run off with the gem.
So you would think, but we have the gem. What happens if I show him the gem?
This is the gem that Peagram found in the castle.
So that's what all the fuss was about. I can't see why myself. Why men would fight and steal and kill over a little bauble like that.
Well, it's kind of neat the way it sparkles.
All right, it didn't seem to care that much, but all right. What about the bookcase reading?
Good book?
A book? It's a passport to a world of fantasy and imagination.
Yeah, what's the title?
Creative Shelving for Beginners, the 1978 edition.
Creative shelving. I could not think of a more boring book title. Let's ask about the book again.
What's so cool about home improvement?
There's nothing like it. The resinous autumnal aroma of seasoned wood, the rhythmic rasp of the plate. Ah, no wonder our Lord came to earth as the son of a humble carpenter. I bet he was a wizard with a chisel and a length or two before.
Quite the carpenter, eh? Home improvement. That's obviously, what's his name? Buzz Lightyear. Is it Tim Arnold? I forgot. Never mind.
Surely the portrayal of Christ's adoptive family as humble artisans is a symbolic metaphor.
I don't know about that, but I know they were carpenters. Haven't you read the book?
Well, no. But I have seen The Greatest Story Ever Told, and I don't recall Jesus putting up any shelves.
Yeah, this is quite the weird conversation. Has he seen Khan? Let's show him the picture of Khan.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, but I wouldn't trust him. His eyes are too close together. He's not a friend of yours, is he?
Oh, no. Far from it. In fact, I believe it's the face of a killer.
I knew it! Piggy eyes. Can't trust him.
That is a weird comment to make. Piggy eyes. Can't trust them. All right. Let's ask about the sports car then.
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? The poor fella must have been lost.
We can still ask about the Ferrari.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Oh.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
So he took the side of the owner of the car. Now we all of a sudden have the icon of Sean Fitzgerald. Let's ask him about Sean.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart.
Oh.
Was he killed by the car?
Oh, no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
It's a relief? He's been abducted. We can still talk about Sean.
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
One bicycle between two policemen. Okay. That is quite the small village. I put my money on the Ferrari. Some of these jokes are they're absolutely fabulous. Let's ask about Sean once again.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
No, don't do that. Let's ask about Sean once again.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvellous. I think I should start me inquiries in the bar.
Oh, there he goes. He stood up and he's off, going to the
He
bar.
strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay.
And now we can just climb up the stack of hay without anyone interfering. So obviously, if you had gone to the castle before everything had all the commotion with Sean and everything, he would have just been there grumpy, not allowed us to climb up the haystack. So there was no way of entering the castle without dealing with Sean Fitzgerald first. But now let's climb the haystack. All right, and we're now almost near the top of the wall, but
The stack of hay stopped short of the top of the wall.
yeah,
Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach.
it's out of
What I
reach.
needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to get up there if we try to climb. Oh, he almost fell. But there's a hole here somewhere, right? Yes, right next to George's left hand here.
There was a narrow crack between two of the stones where the centuries-old mortar had crumbled away.
We could put something there. That would be kind of convenient. Is there something we can stand on? Oh, what about the T-shaped tool? Shall I put it in? Bum bum! There it goes, the manhole.
I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step.
There we go. Now we have a step because we just jammed that lifting key for lifting manhole covers, which is still just disgusting to say. Let's now use the step and try to go over the wall. All right, here we go. George is able to climb over the wall. Here we have a small cutscene where he's walking down some steps, and he's looking around. And he's surprised to see a huge goat. What is this goat doing here? Who's feeding it if it's locked inside here in this castle? It's just by itself eating some hay or grass. I have no idea. So let's look at the goat and observe it a little bit.
It was the fiercest, meanest-looking old goat I'd ever laid eyes upon.
Yeesh, you don't want to deal with this goat. Okay. We see a bunch of stairs here going down a hole, and then something here to the left. What's this?
It was a rusted piece of iron, maybe part of a plow or something.
Ah, I see, an old plow or something. So, you would think we can just go down the stairs here? Are we allowed to do so? Jesus! The goat just rammed George down, and now he's just laying there. And we have to, if we want to stand up, we have to press the button to move. As in, we just have to press the left button. So, okay. What if we just go to that plow thing? If we move that, what happens then? Attacked again! That goat just rammed George down once again, and he's just laying there. It looks like he's unconscious, but he's not. We just have to click again, and he stands up. Folks, this is the infamous goat puzzle. It is considered one of the hardest puzzles in not only the Broken Sword, but in just all adventures games overall. It's an infamous puzzle that a lot of people were not able to get through, and for that reason, a lot of people had to call one of these. Back in 1996, there were these service lines that you can call for, walkthrough tips, because there was really no internet to go look for the walkthrough, and these phone calls were seriously expensive for people. And it's funny to hear Charles Cecil, the creator of Broken Sword, talk about this fact. But he felt really bad that people were using all that money to just figure out how to get through this puzzle. And I remember it being really hard and just being like, okay, I have no idea how to beat this goat. Especially, if the goat is doing stuff like this. You can't, obviously the audience that are listening can't see it, but like, bam, the music, he's being ran by a goat and he just fell on his ass, not able to do anything about it. We're not going to be able to attack the goat, that's not possible. Nothing like that. I was trying to figure out what on earth is it that I have to do here, just like many others. But I'm proud to say, even though that I did call my cousins many times who had finished the game, try to get his advice on what to do, this time I was able to do it by myself. And it's really interesting how simple the solution is, because nobody figured it out. Well, not nobody, obviously some people did, but it's a solution that you really didn't think of maybe from the start, but then once you do it, it finally makes sense. Or does it make sense? Maybe I'll let you be the judge. So you see, every time he falls down, there's this moment where we can start moving the mouse again, so we can use the mouse to click on the ground so he can stand up again. What you want to do is try to head back to the stairs, but right after we click that, let's aim the mouse right at the...
It was a rusted piece of iron.
Maybe
part of a plow or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks probably as a plow. So, right after we head towards the stairs, we have to have the mouse ready where the rusted piece of iron is. Ready? Here we are. Get attacked. Immediately, click! George runs over to the rusted iron thing, the plow thing, and he moves it. And now the goat sees him there, jumps, but what happens? The rope around the
rope by
neck.
which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare.
See? He basically told it. I didn't have to say it, but yeah, we caught that stupid goat. It is now, you can hear it whining. It is stuck. It's stuck under that plow thing. Because we were quick enough to stand up and go right to the left side where the plow was and move it. Because you have that delay where the goat is kind of going back to its original position after ramming you down. And it slowly kind of backs up. But yeah, during that time, we immediately went left. George ran towards the iron... post thing. Let's see.
It was a rusted piece of iron.
Yeah.
Maybe part of a plow or something.
The part of a plow. I keep checking again. Never mind. And then he was able to move it. The goat tried to ram George again, but got caught. The rope around the goat's neck got caught on that piece of iron, and now it won't bother us again. Let's look at the goat.
The goat was tangled up with the old plow.
Let's talk to the goat.
Hey, Billy.
The animal fixed on me with an evil glare. Behind the malice and resentment, there was a cool intelligence.
How you doing, boy?
I felt as threatened as I'd been by the assassin and his goons in Paris.
So talk to it again.
Hey, Billy.
The goat responded with a cool and penetrating stare.
Well, cool penetrating stare won't do anything, won't do any good because it's stuck. So we can go down this hole. So it's an open courtyard in the castle. There's a hole. Now we get a cutscene where we're walking down a couple of stairs here. This is where the dig must have been. This is the dig site. Wow. And there looks like there's an old chapel here. Let's look around. What is this thing here?
It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall.
Okay.
5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving.
Okay, 5 fingers from the back of the carving of the stone. What's here on the wall?
There was a pattern of 5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately.
Interesting. What's this on here?
The bench had probably been used by Peagram and his archaeological team.
Okay, there's a bench here, and what's here on the bench? There's a bag here.
The sack contained a fine white powder.
Sack containing fine white powder. Can we pick it up?
As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was.
Ooh.
Plaster of Paris.
Oh.
I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints.
Plaster of Paris. Convenient that we are using plaster in Paris in a game that mainly happens in Paris. Let's see if there's something else in the bag.
I reached into the sack, but it was empty.
Empty. All right. What about, let's see, what about this statue? Can we pick up the statue? Whoa, looks really heavy.
The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand.
Okay. Statue is way too heavy for George. What about this door here?
Behind the altar was a carved panel, decorated with animals, birds, and plants.
Interesting. Can we open it?
I tried in vain to move the panel.
But it didn't move. All right. Shall we try to pick the statue up again? Let's see what happens then. Yes!
As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand.
Pattern of holes in the sand? Hello. Is it the same as the holes here in the wall?
There was a pattern of 5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately.
It has to be the same, right? So it's obviously the statues has to be on that wall, but it's too heavy for George to lift. So what if we use those 5 holes there in the sand with something we can mold with? Maybe.
It was a handful of plaster left in the castle by Peagram's archaeology team.
Plaster of Paris would probably... that's something we could use instead. Something very light that could probably fit in those holes. Should we use our fingers?
I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened.
No, that's not going to work. So let's try... Can we use the plaster of Paris on these holes here in the sand? Oh.
I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled.
All right. Now let's look at the plaster.
The patch of sand where the statue had fallen was covered with a dense sprinkling of plaster.
We need to get it hard. What do we need then? Water, right? So this towel here should have some water in it if we just squeeze it, right? Let's see what happens. Wait, what?
I squeezed the towel as hard as I could, but it was barely damp.
Oh no, it's already damped? Let's look at the towel.
The towel had dried out and was barely damp.
Bleh. What does that mean? We have to go all the way back to the bar, get it back wet, and then try it again. Stupid goat. This is, it's karma. This is what you get for ramming us down like that. Alright, so out of the hole, out of the castle, over the wall, and now back down the haystack. Down we go. How much time do we have left? A couple of minutes, maybe? I at least want to finish Ireland, that's for sure. Since it's the second episode of Ireland, I'm not gonna delay delayed too much. Get George back to Paris to meet with Nico. Especially because we have the gem, we know where the tripod is, and there is something there in the castle that will tell us more. Although, here's Sean Fitzgerald's uncle, just standing by the bar.
The farmer was drinking and chatting with his pals as if nothing had happened.
What the hell?
Maybe abduction had replaced cattle raiding as their national pastime.
Let's ask him a little bit, whoa, are you not looking for Sean?
Hello. Hello there. Let me introduce you to my pals.
We've already met.
He's gonna introduce us to Doyle and, was it O'Brien? Let's ask about Sean.
I want you to know you have my sympathy.
Oh, it's just terrible, awful.
It's the worst news I heard all day.
It's top the bad news all right for this week and the next.
Oh.
The whole year.
Oof.
It's worse than that. It's the worst disaster in living memory.
Oof.
Isn't it the biggest calamity in the history of the village?
I would say it's the biggest in the history of Ireland.
Wow.
The most awesome disaster since mankind paddled out to the primal plop.
This is quite the disaster.
There's no beer.
What? I thought you were talking about Sean. Let's ask about the beer.
Is a glass of beer more important than a man's life?
George is shocked.
Were you talking to me?
To all of you. Sean Fitzgerald has met with God knows what, and all you can do is drink.
Sean has gone for a ride in a flash car, that's all. Why don't you calm down and join us?
Join you for... But there are no drinks. Let's ask about Sean again.
What about Sean? Why aren't you out looking for him?
There's no point in launching an ill-equipped expedition to save the lad. In a life-or-death situation, preparation is essential. That's why I slipped in here.
For a point.
For a point, but there's no beer. I would feel awful.
I gotta go.
We're gonna go. I would feel awful if my uncles would think that way about me, like I've been abducted. But we're first gonna just have to get a pint at the bar. All right, down the cellar we go then. Jesus, we have to do this again. I honestly don't know why.
The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water.
Rusty-colored water. What's this on the floor here?
It was a bunch of cleaning materials.
Yeah, we're not going to use them. So I can't believe we have to do this again, but the thing is, for some reason, I've tried it many times before. The first try will just... You cannot go there for the first try because...
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
Sorry, yeah. While he was soaking the towel with water. Let's do it just again, just to be safe.
The towel was already as wet as it was going to get.
I hope it is. Now let's just go straight to the castle. Do not talk to anyone. Do not stop anywhere. Because I think when we have to deal with the guy near the haystack and the goats, during that time the towel dries up, which means we have to go back and just go straight to the sink again and get it wet. And not stop anywhere along the way. Not to talk to Liam. We're now outside. We're not even going to bother talking to anyone. We need to just go straight to the castle with the wet towel. We need to get that plaster of Paris wet so it can become solid. And here we are. The T-shaped tool is still in the wall, so now we can use it to step up and climb over the wall. The goat is still there. Ha ha ha. You're the one who rammed us, so you deserve it, stupid goat. You're the one who made people pay all that money for walkthrough tips. Anyways, here's the plaster. Let's just immediately use the towel over it and get it wet. 3, 2, 1, and there he goes. All that water coming out of the towel.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster.
Quickly absorbed. Terrible accent. Let's look at the plaster.
A lump of hardened plaster lay on the sand at my feet.
Hey.
The plaster cast was a pretty neat replica of the back of the stone, complete with protruding fingers.
So we made a replica that is much lighter than the stone, so we can probably easily pick it up. Yes, we
I
can.
eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue.
Nice. Well, I'm guessing we'll put it in the wall then. All right.
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence.
Silence. The door opened. Wow. This is interesting. The doorway is open now. Now we can go inside this dark room that we just... This is where Peagram found something. Let's go inside. George just turned on his flashlight. And now we have a cutscene of him walking down this... Ooh, it's kind of spooky. The wind. Montfonction. There's something written on the wall, Montfonction, and there's some image of a man hanging. Back in Nico's apartment? That means we're back in Paris.
So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Right.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead.
He wasn't...
Then Leary woke me in the middle of the night to help bail out the cellar.
Uh-oh.
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet running.
That was
And
me.
you say Peagram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Oh, George is showing Nico the gem.
Peagram's gem?
The Templars gem.
Templars gem.
Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
So many things here. Okay, so now we have a name of a guy called Jacques Marquet. We have a picture of a hanged man and the word Montfonction that we found in this secret room at the castle. And then we have the gem. And then we know the tripod is at the Kroon Museum. So we can show Nico the gem again.
Do you want to look after the gem?
No, George. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
Well, she's honest. So... we could look at the manuscript again, but there's really no new information. I mean, we have the gem and we know where the tripod is, but there's nothing else on that manuscript that we still don't understand, and we still haven't talked to Lochmarne. He wasn't there when we went to the Kroon Museum, so we could try again to see if he's there to get some information. So let's just say goodbye to Nicole.
I can't sit here all day. Much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lochmarne at the Kroon Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Oh.
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
Shall we do it in that order then? In that order. Go check with Lochmarne and then go check with Rosso and see if we can help us. So, I think Nico's order is a good way to do it. Let's just leave Rougerie. And I think, how much time have I played now? Yeah, I'm up to an hour soon. So we finished Ireland. So that was my goal for this episode. So we have the Museum Kroon. We're still at the airport, but we're not going to be able to leave the country. And then Poste de Police where Rosso is. So, but I think we'll go to the Museum Kroon. And here's the museum, and we'll go inside. And once we're inside, I'll save and end the episode today. Today's 5th episode. Because from now, things are gonna get even more complicated. It's not only the tripod of the gem, there's so much else. There's the manuscript and so on and so forth. And look here, there's a guy looking around the case.
He was a thin-faced, pallid guy with a questionable taste in outlandish clothes. My mother used to dress like that.
So that's the description of Lochmarne. But I'm not mentally ready to deal with Lobino. I'll do it the next time for the next episode. Yeah, we'll talk to Lobino, and then we'll talk to Rosso, go to the police station, see what information we can get, and if they can help us with the case. We have so much to tell them, and we can show them the gem. Well, should we show the gem? Maybe not. But here, I'll press escape. I'll press save. JLR Podcast Network. Save this. And then, when we're back, we'll have to eventually talk to Lobino about the manuscript. We need more information. What is all the other things? What is that? We know the tribe and the gem, but what's that bull? What's that guy? What's that guy working with the loom? The knight with the crystal ball, and the woman looking at her reflection, and the reflection has 3 hideous faces. What could it all mean? What is Khan's plot in all of this? What happened to Peagram? Was it the same that happened to Sean Fitzgerald? Why is this all connected to the Templars? Who knows? Well, I know, but you'll find out with me as we continue next time. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars walkthrough and review, and stay tuned for more episodes from the JLR Podcast Network, especially if you like this one. It's on a playlist on YouTube, and if you want, you can listen to this audio on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and what other it should be most podcast apps should be available almost anywhere. I hope. Anyways, I'm getting too excited. I'm getting overexcited. I didn't even know what that accent was. It's not a character at all. Never mind. Stop. Let's see. Okay, quit. Done. Bye-bye. Take care. See ya. Bye.